Good morning, YouTube friends. Thanks so much for coming by. I am so glad that you're here today. I, just in time for Valentine's Day, have finally perfected my macaron recipe using the magical ingredient Aquafaba. They're super simple to make, the ratios are right on point, and they're totally vegan. Keep on watching to see how to make them. Okay guys, first things first, the star of our show here is Aquafaba, and if you didn't know what that is, it is the juice from a can of chickpeas or garbanzo beans. So I've just got an organic garbanzo bean can here, and I'm draining all the juice out into a strainer and then into a saucepan. And we're just going to reduce this juice by about half. So I'm going to let it bubble and simmer for probably about 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to get a little bit darker in color and reduce to about half the amount of liquid. Once it's done bubbling away and reducing, we're just going to pour it into a little container and see how it's a little bit darker, a little bit more milky. Just going to pour that into a little glass jar here. You can refrigerate it overnight, or if you're impatient like me, you can pop it in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes and you'll be good to go. Okay, while that's cooling down, we're just going to sift together our dry ingredients. We've got 1 cup of organic powdered sugar and 1 cup of super fine almond meal. Little pro tip here, if you have a bigger sieve than this, you should use it because this thing took forever and I had to like mix it around with my fingers, but it did the job, and I remembered I had a larger one after I was done doing it, so next time I will use the larger one, but whatever works, right? So once we've got that sifted together, we're going to set it aside and our Aquafaba should be ready to work with. Okay, our Aquafaba is nice and cooled down. We're just going to pour it into our stand mixer here. You can use a hand mixer as well, but I definitely recommend using something electric because it takes a lot of whipping to get these Aquafabas going real well. Once we've got a slight foam going on, I'm going to add a half a tablespoon of cream of tartar. That's going to stabilize our peaks here. We're just going to whip the heck out of it for another couple minutes. And as soon as it starts to get white and a little bit more fluffy, I'm going to slowly add in a half a cup of white sugar. And we're just going to keep beating it until they're glossy and stiff peaks form, just like egg whites would. It's kind of amazing. I say that cauliflower is magic, but honestly, this is like real life magic. It's crazy that you can do this with bean juice. So I probably whipped for about 5 minutes total, but look at how glossy and beautiful that is. I can't get over it. So what we're going to do is we are going to fold our dry mixture into our Aquafaba here. I'm going to add the dry mixture in 3 different batches. So I'll add in a third, mix it up, add in the second part, and then the third, so we don't get overwhelmed with the dry, so everything mixes really nicely. I'd like to take a moment to give a shout out to my single thumbnail that has had just a tiny bit of green nail polish on it since Christmas. Keeping it classy over here, guys. I promise I will eventually paint my fingernails so it doesn't look so ridiculous. Okay, once that final third is just about mixed into the wet ingredients, we're gonna add 1 capful or about a half a teaspoon of almond extract. It's just gonna up that flavor even more in our macarons. So I'll mix that together, and then I'm also gonna add just a little bit of red food coloring to get a nice pink and festive Valentine's Day color going on here. Totally optional. So if you wanted, the sky's really the limit. This is a base recipe. You could, instead of adding almond extract, add a bit of vanilla. You could add about a tablespoon of cocoa powder to make a cocoa flavored macaron, or any other flavor extract that you've got. I think it could totally work. This is a very versatile medium. So we're just mixing it until these ribbons kind of fall off our spatula like so, and that's how we know the consistency is just right. Okay, now I'm preheating my oven to 250 degrees Fahrenheit while I'm getting ready to pipe these little macarons onto our sheet pan. The best way to do this, in my opinion, is to use either a piping bag, or, if you're scrappy like me, a Ziploc bag. I like to save these bags from our bulk bins when I end up using them at the grocery store, because I prefer not to buy Ziplocs all the time if I don't have to. So I just save these guys and use them for things like this. So we've got our bag filled up here, and we're just gonna snip off the corner with a pair of scissors, and we've got a makeshift piping bag. Easy enough, right? Another tip I learned from trying to figure out this recipe and just watching countless videos: if you take a bit of your batter and put it underneath, right onto the cookie sheet, it'll hold your parchment for you, which is really nice. I use a little bit too much, but you get the idea. Now we're just gonna pipe out little circles here, gonna try to keep them around the same size, like so. And you can use your finger to push down those little peaks there, or since it's Valentine's Day, oh, you also wanna tamp them on the counter, get all the air bubbles out. But onto those peaks again, I'm using sprinkles to cover them up a little bit. So you can either use your finger dipped in water to smooth it out, or add some sprinkles of your choice. We're obviously going Valentine's Day route here. Okay, once we've piped our macarons, tamped them on the counter, and added our sprinkles, we're gonna let them dry on the countertop for an hour. And what you're looking for is a unsticky macaron, so you can touch it and it's not gonna stick. That's gonna help form that distinct foot that you get on a macaron. Then we're gonna throw them in the oven at 250 degrees for 35 minutes, and I'm gonna turn the oven off, and I'm not gonna touch them. I'm gonna let them cool down in the oven. And this is what we've got once they've totally cooled down. Aren't they beautiful? And then I'm just gonna fill them with a really simple buttercream. I use some vegan butter, powdered sugar, and some vanilla extract. I'll link below, or type below, what I used ratio-wise, but super simple. You can use jam. I've seen people use peanut butter. You can use all sorts of things, whatever you're feeling. This is a nice, simple filling, and it goes really nice with the almond flavor. So I'm just making little sandwiches here, and we've got our pretty little macarons just about done. And there you have it. Look at that little beauty there. We're sliding around with the filling here, but you get the idea. They're just so delicate and beautiful. And nothing, in my opinion, goes better with these macarons than some hot tea or a frothy, delicious cafe au lait. I just steamed up some oat milk and a little bit of coffee, and we're going to enjoy these and get in the Valentine's spirit. I hope you guys love these little jewels as much as I do. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to see any other recipes with Aquafaba. I'm having so much fun playing with this magical ingredient. I so appreciate you watching. I hope you're having a fabulous February and a fantastic Valentine's Day. I will talk to you soon. Cheers.